Today is simple. 7 a.m. The markets are about to open. So I'm going to draw my exact QQQ support and resistance lines and levels, my key levels, live with you before anything ever happens. I'm going to show you exactly the trades that I'm going to be looking at today. And you're going to be watching the chart. Bring up these charts and look at what is going on. All right. So, also, small disclaimer, I'm only opening my one-on-one mentorship one time in 2026. So if you've used my free YouTube videos or my free watch and learns where I show you everything I do and you've made any money from it, make sure to submit your email down below so that you can be one of the first to get to the top of that list and know exactly when I drop my mentorship and get a shot at getting into it. So last time that I tried to trade on live, I turned a $900 profit trade into $0 because my computer glitched out and I was trying to fix the glitch and I should have been closing out a profit, right? And so we're not doing that today. I literally lost the entire trade. We're not doing that today. Today is simple. I'm going to be drawing my lines and then I'm going to come back at 10 a.m. to literally show you how I'm not going to drop the ball today because it is Black Friday, day after a holiday. You know, a lot of people have issues trying to trade the day after a holiday, and but it's Friday as well. So there's a lot going on, but I'm going to show you how to really to navigate this, right? So don't leave the stream early because one, you're going to be able to see exactly what I'm going to take and how it changes as I trade in the 10 a.m. So if you're not watching this video, then you're going to be confused what I trade in the 10 a.m. But also, I know where institutions are hiding their stops at. I know where the fake outs are at for the retailers. And I know all the trigger spots that are going to happen today because the market closes early the day after Thanksgiving. So a lot of traders are about to get wrecked by chasing a lot of noise, but you're going to watch me draw an exact map of how I'm going to approach the market. And again, support resistance, which means it's going to be simple with only a few indicators. So let's go ahead and lock in and let's get to this market. I'm actually going to go and check if the audio is good on my phone because I don't actually know if it's good or not. I hope that it's decent, but we're going to see by checking my phone. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop my chart sheet, drop my lines on the charts. But let's get into it. I appreciate everybody for the subscribes. I've gained, I think, about 20 in the past day, which is insane. Yeah. Okay. So it's actually really good. The audio is perfect. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right. So, okay. So we're going to look at is QQQ. Why are we looking at QQQ? Because, okay, I thought it was glitching. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the reason that we're following QQQ is for several reasons. QQQ is a basket of companies. It's an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund, which is something that you can actually trade. An ETF is something you can literally trade, which is why we're able to trade it. If it wasn't tradable, we wouldn't be able to trade it. But this is actually a stock, a basket of stocks. The ETF is a basket of stocks. And how many stocks is in that basket? 100. And what do those 100 do? They track the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is actually on the right side. And you can trade mini E futures or you can trade micro E mini futures on NASDAQ. But for some reason, it's actually not working. Like they're having a data issue. Due to some let me just read it verbatim. Due to exchange related issues, we don't receive real-time data. The exchange is working to resolve the issue in the near term. So for me, I don't pay for real-time data for futures anyways, so it's going to be delayed by 10 minutes always. But right now, it's not giving any data is what they're saying. So I'm not sure what that's about, but we're going to figure it out. But back to what the QQQ is, it's like buying tiny little pieces of 100, because remember the basket is of 100 of the biggest in the world tech heavy non-financial companies in the world. So you're getting the mag 7, so Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, everything like bundled together, and you can trade it all at one time. So all their price action is together. Imagine trading those 7 different stocks or 100 different stocks, but just in one. So that's essentially what it is. But again, NQ is the equivalent, because NQ is the actual NASDAQ 100. So what happens is that when QQQ isn't showing its price action between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. on every weekday, or it's not showing anything after hours, well, yeah, this is the same thing. After hours during the weekday, I can actually watch the NASDAQ and actually kind of get a view of what my trade and profit and P&L would look like. But let's get into what we're going to be looking at. So I'm a support resistance trader, and what I actually really love is I'm going to everything. Why are we going to remark everything? Because we can. Now, I don't use my laptop at all. Like, I'm an iPad trader. I don't know, like there's iPad kids. There's definitely iPad kids, but I'm an iPad trader. I will just flip open my iPad and use that. But the reason I'm not going to use it is because I don't know how to stream and do that on my iPad. So I'm not going to do that. Someone said, sticking with you, I need to make some money. Yeah, I think that trading one singular stock like I do is probably, if I were to give one piece of like why, just giving a observation, all of my other friends that trade, they're trading Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, they're PLTR, they're chasing Amazon, they're chasing all these different trades, right? For me, I trade QQQ every single day. I used to trade SPY every single day. And so I traded SPY, but SPY is like the little brother. So SPY is like the little brother, less money movement, and QQQ is the more volatile big brother. Okay. Um, so that's why I trade NQ, because I just like decided to level up in my trading. But I trade the same. If when I was trading SPY, I was trading that every single day. Now that I trade QQQ, I will watch the Nasdaq. That's the only other thing I'll watch. Like I'll watch the Nasdaq in between post market just to see like what's going on, because they kind of flow in the same order. But I don't touch anything else, and that's one of the biggest things is that clarity. But again, I don't use my laptop, and so this is going to be a learning curve for me, but I'm excited to try to figure out how to get all this stuff off my chart. Let me try to find, like, I'm so used to using my iPad, it's crazy. If I'm being honest, because it syncs together. That's the best thing about TradingView. Like, well, the one bad part is that it literally recognizes it. So I have 0.5 seconds to use the apps at the same time, because, or my account at the same time on a different device, because it will literally log me out for sure. But I click on this little draw symbol, and then, well, where's the draw symbol? On here. Like, I legit easy. I think it's different if you have a computer that has touchscreen, or you have one of those ones that flip and like it flips flat. Those ones are great too. I can't, it's just extra. I just don't mess. Oh, I wish that, I mean, also if you're in here and you're watching, make sure to smash the like button. And figure out how to. I'm just gonna remove it off my iPad. I don't care. I don't have time for all that, bro. Yeah. So like I just whatever. Okay. So the reason why NQ doesn't move its lines, you see these lines here, how these lines don't move, is simply because we're not on NQ. We were moving on the QQQ chart, right? So I can go to my iPad and remove the Q. All you need to do is just start typing the letters on your, you don't have to do anything else besides literally type the letters of the ticker you want, and then you go ahead and press enter. All right. So on this left side, we have 15-minute. On the right side, we have the 1 hour. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to get off of this screen to where it gives me a single screen. And this is all with the basic regular plan that's like $13 a month. I think it's about $100 a year with some discounts or whatever they do. I don't really remember how much TradingView is. I think last time I checked, because I made a video on how to start day trading in 3 steps, and I told you everything. And one of the things is, or the first thing is to get a TradingView subscription, and that's the only thing you'll have to pay for is $100 a year, or just pay $14 a month. So we're gonna go up to the 1 day, and we're gonna see what's going on. We're gonna work our way down. All right. The indicators that I have on my chart, no, I didn't. Yeah. So I have 3 indicators right now. I have my EMA 100. I just made a YouTube video on how to trade the EMA 100. So it's inside of my channel, and it's a really in-depth video on how and why I use the EMA 100. The EMA 100 is this blue line. Can you move things? This blue line you see here. That's my EMA 100, and it's up here. I also have a simple moving average or moving average simple here, but I don't have it turned on right now. But I do have my EMA 100 up here, charts. So that's my first indicator. My second one is ATR. Oh, how I love the ATR. When I wasn't taught ATR. I was taught to do it mathematically. So now I know how to do it mathematically, but the charts will literally give it to you. You don't have to calculate your own ATR, which is your average true range, which is how much does price move in this amount of time. So this is the 1 day. How much dollars does it move every day? How many dollars does it move every 4 hours? You're going to see the number go lower. It moves $5. Okay. As about $1, $2, right? How much does it move every 15 minutes? Volume bars, and they're still green and red, even though I've changed my candlestick colors to black and blue. Black and blue. Blue is called black is any downtrend. So black is red, green is blue. All right. Now, the reason why I have this on here is just so I can see any potential spikes. It also just lets me know like where previous spikes were, just easier. And it also tells me that volume for whatever time frame I'm on. So it's going to change. So right now it's showing 42 million for, okay. And also like, let me make sure I have that in there. It shows 2 numbers. If you ever click something and you want to go back, press Command Z, like literally the letter Z, Command Z, and that's going to reverse anything that you click wrong, because I click stuff wrong on this computer, which is why I don't use it. But I can't live stream on my iPad because I don't know how to do that. So it shows 2 numbers, which is obviously the volume of buyers, volume of sellers. One is red, one is green. I'm trying to show it to. Maybe I'll just do it on my iPad. Like doing everything with your finger is so much easier. I swear. That was is this the 4? Yeah, this is the 4 hour. Let's move this up. Okay, can we see it now? I don't know if it'll adjust for me. Okay, maybe it doesn't adjust my indicators. Okay, anyways, 27, it says 27.26. For the 1 hour, it says 11.10. So everything is basically like this 6.18. This is 4 and 3.2. So yeah, everything is good, but the thing about it is, you know, it's just moving in a straight line. This chart, and let's get into it. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, like I said, is go up to the. Can I just do all this from my iPad? I don't think it's gonna adjust the screen, but I think it's going to give me the line still. So right here at this 583, yes, it is. So here we have a touch and here we have a breakthrough. The reason I call it a breakthrough is because this was the highest ATH all-time high at one point, and then it came down, right? You can see the numbers here, this 5998, that green box. Okay, then it decided to break above. So that's a chart pattern. I have a video on chart patterns that I just posted. Check that video, only a few videos below on my channel. So then let's look at what happens over here. Honestly, where we are right now creates a trend, but because we're at it right now, it doesn't technically create a trend, but I'm still going to draw it because that's basically what I'm talking about. All right, touch here, touch there, here, and here. It tried to consolidate, but then it filled. This was a gap too. So we're above this. So this whole time, these four red circles have been resistance. Okay, rejecting this 611.6. Now we're finally pre-market, but it showed you my current pre-market, not with this yellow line that you see here. You know, this arbitrary line. Look at ATH. So this is our ATH that always gets marked, of course. And then any rejection we had, this is not really a rejection for real, but only because it spanned over a few days, we're gonna draw it because it spanned 3, 4, 5, like it did it for a week. So I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna 5, 3, 1. But the reason why we might not do that, like this is just a bouncing zone, so there's not really anything to put there. Now let's move down to the 4 hour. Let's move down, down, down to the 4 hour. All right. So make sure if you're in here that you're, and we still have our green lines. What does that mean? I'm actually going to change them to black. I change my colors all the time. They don't really mean anything. I used to make them mean something. Like resistances would be purple, but then it's not easy to keep up with it through the week. So I just stopped doing that. But I think it's good for a beginner. I was doing that when I was like, now we see we're kind of like, we're literally bouncing in the EMA. We respected it once, respected it twice. We EMA once, twice, and taking that touch as a confirmation to stay under. Okay. Same thing here. We touched it once, broke through. I don't like this because I think this was news. So it kind of broke deeper than it should have. It really should have. Let's just look at what's on the 4 hour. So I don't see anything here. I don't see anything there. I kind of see this. Like I kind of see that. Let's zoom in a little bit. Because we don't really need anything. Why is this marker still on? Like I just am baffled. We have 31 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. So yeah, let's look at it. So this yeah, let me just do it from my iPad. So now we're looking at, okay, what are our support resistances on this level? One, I definitely And this is a new time frame. I could definitely make these a different color, but I'm not going to. So I like this for only the reason of this uh drop and this drop. And then I love lines that just invalidate something, but it also consolidated here. The next time it came to the line, it slammed through. Next time it came, it slammed through. And then next time it came, it respected it. So this is telling me, hey, we like to have a lot of activity at this line. It also consolidated here, but it wasn't true consolidation. Like it pretty much was just choppy this entire week. It was all wicked out, just very, very sloppy, like very, very sloppy. Like if you haven't watched my video on why day trading full time is dangerous, this is why. Because there's weeks that it just wicks out, and there's literally nothing, and you're just better off noticing. Okay, it's coming up to this line. If it breaks through, I'll hold it. You could have gotten you could have got $10 to $20 of movement. That's about 100 to 200, 250% on QQQ if you would have just stayed out this week. So like trading full time is very dangerous because it's part time. It's a very part time job. It's very part time job. It's a side income that doesn't pay you like a side income. It pays you better than a full time job, but you have to treat it like a part time job. So that was just terrible. But then we've also consolidated here. I'm not really going to use that as a confirmation, but I do like that we respected it here, and it was like our mini rejection off this line to break this. So I like it. I like this zone. I'm going to leave it here. What am I leaving it here for? I'm going to leave it here as a good support. Okay, that's what I'm leaving it here for. Now, some lines are going to double. Some lines are going to be a support, and they're going to be a rejection line. Now, those, I really like them, okay? Because let me tell you, if there's a resistance that turns into a support, let me go to my notes really quick, because you guys know, like I take trading very seriously. This is not no type of let me go ahead and bring out my original notes of when I was hearing these things from my Lord and Savior. He was like, girl, let me just tell you what to do, because you don't even be. But this is something he personally told me. I did not figure this out myself, nor did I figure out anything myself. It really be him telling me everything for real. There's a few things. But I pretty much journal every single day. So, and I could just draw it for you, but it's easier to just say it. All right. So when there's one line that acts as a support and a resistance, if it's a resistance turning into support, you're going to hold for calls. If it's a support turning into a resistance, you hold for puts. Okay. So that's totally different, but I definitely wanted to mention it because that's one of the greatest things that God's ever told me, and it's made me a lot of money. And I just want to tell you for free, just like everything else on my channel is free. Like it's all there. Anywho, moving on. Let's look at yes, we're going to go live at 10 o'clock. And that live, I'm going to show you how to not get cooked the day after Thanksgiving, because bro, on a Friday, marking everything up, and why, so you can really know. Because in that video, I'm not marking anything up. I'm just going to show you me trading, actually making the money. If you stay all the way through, you'll see how much I end up making today, which is only in like 2 hours. Okay, so on the 4 hour, that's pretty much all I see. Like I don't see anything else. I mean, I could say this is cool, but it's only cool because it was a gap zone, then it filled, and then it two-ish, 2.5, like 1.5 trading weeks. But it's only really important because of our current candle also at this line. So we're going to pay attention to that. We're not like every line doesn't hold the same weight. So just because I'm drawing a line doesn't mean that I'm supposed to take calls or puts here. It just means, hey, watch at this zone. Now, some things say, hey, when you get to this line, this is your entry. Some things say, okay, well, this is just like every line is either a red light, a green light, or a yellow light. This is more of a yellow light. Okay. So that's how we're going to talk about our lines. And if you want to, you make your line those colors for your support and your resistance, right? You can say, okay, this one I will just, draw it in as yellow, right? And just say, yeah, when I get to this line, watch it. You could do that. But I mean, yeah, do whatever you want. Oops. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it because my tactic is that I watch everything throughout the market. So I don't really need to do that because I'm gonna be watching it anyways. But you can do that, is what I'm saying. Okay, so now let's move to the 1 hour. 1 hour. Let's see what you got for us. Now we're starting to, and this is where it's okay. Like I said, we're not really looking at anything past September. Like a good little area, based on the zones that we have drawn out, this being the top of our barrier, this being the low of our barrier. We have one more line underneath it, but that's like almost $30 away. So we would have to hit the other barriers. I don't remember, $26 in between, which is almost $30. So it's a bigger gap. So what we can do is we're looking at price between this and this. Okay. So now what do we see between that and that? Now, I just want to mark some zones and then we're going to go back and edit them. So there's a little bit of movement there. And we're just looking for where price started and stopped. That's all. And then if we see it actually like make a difference, then we'll keep it. If it, stupid, then we'll take it off. This is kind of like cool a little bit. But all that stuff is under. You see how all that stuff is under where price currently is at below it. So that means that if price decides to go up, then we don't necessarily have any specific zones where price would try to stop us out, which is actually kind of good. But that technically is also a line. If you're in here, make sure to press the subscribe button. We also could be trying to fill this zone. Like that's a very likely thing we could be doing because we have not come back up to this zone that we created. Well, it's not a zone. Oh, yeah, it's a zone. The gap zone. So this gap, that we created here, we never filled it. And it's a very tiny gap. Like this one is huge. Like this gap is absolutely massive. How much this was 11 to this was a $6 up move overnight. This one right here, we'll just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so that right here, this zone, and it was respected and it was rejected. I'm liking this zone. If we come back up to this line, this is definitely going to be invalidated for surely. But again, it's super small. It's $3. It's a $3 gap. Like it's not just going to shoot up to hit that. It's not just going to shoot up to hit that. And the thing that I would take, yeah, this gap that we had on November 7. I'm trying to rewind. I'm gonna adjust it, but that's fine. So this gap that we had on November 7, it tried, but it stopped out at the same resistance that slammed our chart. Last time we came up, we held. We've been up for the last $4, but again, it's very sloppy. So it's very different because if you are trading and you're seeing your gap be validated, it's great, right? It's awesome. But the thing is, when you are having it be validated, but it's so slow, then it's like, I actually don't know if you're going to hold up or not because you didn't just go through and try to hit this 622, or you didn't go through and try to hit this 626, or even follow through on that $3 gap because you could have done that. Like that's only $10, 10, 12, $13 away. You could have done that. Why are you going so slow? So that's what brings in that little bit of skepticism for me. And so I'm going to keep those marked. I'm going to move down to the 15 and then, okay, again, our ATR is like 50 cents to $1. So any move that we take, it really needs to resonate with that. You can't just be taking stuff that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? If you're taking a trade that doesn't make sense for the ATR, then you're just going to be out of money because if your trade is telling you, oh, it's a 5 move, but your ATR is $2, and you're probably going to hold it for more than an hour. So you probably shouldn't buy a 0-day contract or at the money. You should probably buy a little bit farther out to go against your time decay. So you have to try to mix and match those type of things. But let's look at the 5th. I can imagine both. There's not really anything in it. And I'm going to be honest, these red lines that we drew, do they validate themselves on this 15-minute? Though I think it's very, very sloppy. Like it would kind of have to be, and so they don't have to be perfect, but they're like supposed to just, be there. I think we can also add another line here. Yes, at this level, but also a little lower. Here, because this was a very interesting wick up that we had. A little bit of a zone, like a little bit of a this touches this, and it holds these to actually trade this and see how much money that I'm next video.